Hello, good people. Welcome back to the Kuhb Games YouTube channel, and welcome back to Meme Deck Monday. It has been a while, but we are back. Sometimes you just got to take some time off, and that's how it be. But we are looking at an Inferno Tempest deck today. This is something that I've been wanting to put together for quite some time now, and just kind of did it by accident a couple of days ago. I was just like, I messaged Petty and I was like, hey, help me build an Inferno Tempest deck. And all he said was play the orb, basically. So we are playing the orb, but if you all don't know what Inferno Tempest does, this is a quick play spell card. It says when you take 3,000 or more battle damage from one attack, you can activate this card. Remove all monsters in each player's deck and graveyard from play. So this card, of course, pretty hard to set up. You have to take 3,000 damage from one single attack, but you know what attacks for 3,000? Lava Golem. And you know what you can give to your opponent? Lava Golem. And you know what your opponent needs to do with this Lava Golem so that they don't die to that said Lava Golem? They need to attack you directly. What this deck wants to do is it wants to set up a Lava Golem on your opponent's side of the field, have your opponent attack it, then you activate Inferno Tempest. Your opponent loses all of their monsters. This doesn't clear the Lava Golem, but it does give you 3 DD Scout Planes in the end phase to act as blockers, so maybe the Lava Golem will be able to burn your opponent out. So to sort of supplement this, we're essentially a lockdown burn deck. Probably not something you thought you would be seeing here on Meme Deck Monday. A lot of people don't like lockdown burn, but it fits the strategy perfectly. We are playing a couple of level limit area Bs, and of course a couple of gravity binds to go with that. We also have 3 copies of Wave Motion Cannon, because if we're going to be a lockdown burn deck, this is like the best possible card that we can play. We're playing Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, and then for burn cards, we are playing 3 copies of DD Dynamite. So if you're able to get all of your opponent's monsters out of their deck, you're probably getting rid of somewhere in the neighborhood of like 14 to 16, assuming they've already drawn some in their hand, something like that. I guess less so against warriors and stuff like that, but talking more so like the control decks and the chaos decks and stuff like that. That's a lot of damage with DD Dynamite. This just instantly becomes one of the best burn spells in the game whenever Inferno Tempest is resolved. So that's why we're playing that. Of course, we're also playing a Magic Cylinder, and we do play 3 copies of Just Desserts, 3 copies of Nightmare Wheel. I opted to cut the Secret Barrel from the deck. Essentially, DD Dynamite is just taking that slot, but wanted to play Just Desserts because sort of a lockdown strategy. Your opponent is incentivized to summon out a bunch of monsters. We are, definitely using Ojama Trio because you can tribute Ojama Trio tokens to summon Lava Golem. So we've got some synergies going there with the Ojama Trio, the Just Desserts, the Lava Golem. And then past that, Nightmare Wheel, obviously, a good lockdown burn card, stops the attack, still a little bit of chip damage, pretty good. And of course we have Mirror Force because it's great, Ring of Destruction because it's great, Solemn Judgment because it's great, and we want to protect all of our lockdown cards here. We have 3 Jar of Greeds. I also opted to sort of play this in the Secret Barrel slot because, we really kind of need a little bit of consistency to get our little plan going here if we want to get Lava Golem off with Inferno Tempest. So Jar of Greed to draw some cards, always welcome in the deck. And then you all have probably noticed that I've left this card in the middle to talk about last, is Remove Brainwashing. And probably not optimal to play it in the deck, but yeah, it does work with Lava Golem, and it does work with Ojama Trio tokens. So Remove Brainwashing will give you your Lava Golem back so that you can start attacking, provided you don't have a Gravity Bind or a level limit on the field. But yeah, just a cheeky little card to add to the deck, just to meme it up a little bit more. Getting into the side deck here, we do have 2 copies of Spirit Reaper, Breaker, Trap Infecting Virus, a couple more lockdown cards with Messenger of Peace, MST, Double Snare, because, Jinzo, Royal Decree, really, really, really good against the deck with 24 traps in it. Though we do have Lava Golem to help deal with Jinzo, so Jinzo's not as big of a problem, but it is still definitely a problem. From there, we have 2 copies of Barrel Behind the Door to help deal with the burn matchup, and we have 3 copies of Bad Reaction to Samachi. Is this way too much? Yeah, it absolutely is. But we're we're going for a little bit of like full-on beam here. One of the reasons that people always cite for Lava Golem being a terrible card in GOAT format is specifically Mystic Walk, and people want to side out their Lava Golems if they are playing the Lava Golem style of lockdown burn because of Mystic Walk. A whole bunch of people play it. Well, we kind of need to leave ours in if we're wanting to go for this Inferno Tempest strategy, right? So to combat our opponent Mystic Walking our Lava Golem, how about they take 3,000 damage instead? So just giving this a shot, put it at 3 just to sort of make sure we draw it. It's probably overkill. Of course, not every deck is playing Mystic Walk, but a lot of decks definitely do. So just wanted to give this a shot. This is definitely one of the sort of memeier, or at least we're leaning more into the meme than some of the recent Meme Deck Mondays, where it's kind of like, yeah, this is the meme sort of rogue off meta strategy, but let's try to make it as good as possible. Whereas this is, let's flip Inferno Tempest and blow our opponents all the way back to the Shadow Realm and meme it out. So that's where we are, and we are also going to do something that is a first on Meme Deck Monday, I believe. I don't like to do this very often, and there have been a lot of good games that have been missed on Meme Deck Monday because I haven't done this, because I like the live reaction aspect of all of the recordings. We are actually going to look at a replay for the first match. I took this I took this deck onto the ladder to test for 1 match, and it was so good, and just encapsulates like literally everything that the deck wants to do, that I decided I just had to have it as a replay. We will have 1 live match with the deck after the replay, so we are still going to have our 2 matches, but we are going to get into a replay first, and then we will have another match. So yeah, well, let's get to the games. All right, replays here, replays now. This is not going to become a norm, by the way, on Meme Deck Monday. So for those of you who prefer the sort of live recordings that I normally do, this is kind of just a one-off because I thought this match was awesome and definitely worth sharing. And it, like I said, it encapsulates everything that the deck wants to do. And honestly, this would take hours and hours to probably to reproduce. And the fact that I got it on my first match, I think is awesome. So we're here against Leandre 2, I suppose. We draw a hand. You can kind of see what the opponent's got over here. Obviously, I didn't know what was going on, but so I'm kind of going to be focusing on my side of things, I suppose. We've got a pretty good hand here. Like, we've got some draw power with this Jar of Greed. We've got a Gravity Bind to lock things down a little bit, and a couple of Solemn Judgments. Always good. Never going to complain. Obviously, we would like an Ojama Trio or something to go with our Just Desserts to make that good. But we're on the play, and we draw a Nightmare Wheel, which is also good. Just more lockdown aspects, more burn. That's kind of what the deck wants to do outside of Inferno Tempest, right? So we're going to set all 5 of our valuable cards. Just Desserts, if the opponent wants to duo that away, that's totally fine. That's getting more value than Just Desserts is probably going to be getting by itself, unless the opponent's on a Scapegoat deck or we draw into the aforementioned Ojama Trio, something like that. So definitely okay with keeping this in hand, but since we've got the double judgment, we may as well just set everything. And you actually see over here in the chat, the opponent says, World Champ difference, baby. I think this was the person that commented on one of my videos and asked if I was wearing a World Champ difference hat. And I was. For those Wolfie VGC fans out there, I am also a big fan of Wolfie. But opponent draws a card, thinks for a little bit. I say, I'm a real YouTubist, which is another line from Wolfie's stuff. But the opponent just summons out a Tribe, which is kind of a... It's not necessarily like a show of weakness, but it's kind of it's not really a play that you want to make turn 1. So this is showing me, you know, maybe the opponent doesn't have a whole lot actually going on. So they attack. I'm probably just going to flip the Gravity Bind here. Yeah, I do flip the Gravity Bind. We just stop the attack. Opponent sets a back row, passes the turn. All good for me. We can actually clear one of these back row if we want to by flipping Jar of Greed, and I do think I am a fan of just flipping it here. Would love to get into an Ojama Trio. Actually, I guess I wouldn't want to get into an Ojama Trio. I kind of just want to clear up space. You know, maybe we draw into Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, something like that. Or we can get to one of our combo pieces and maybe start getting Lava Golem going if this Gravity Bind gets out of here. But yeah, Ojama Trio, not great with the known tribe on the board. But flipping Jar of Greed, we do draw our Inferno Tempest. So now we are a Lava Golem away and our opponent summoning one more monster and clearing our Gravity Bind. You kind of see sort of, how scuffed a deck like this is. I opt to just pass the turn, and I think I'm okay with this. With the Gravity Bind on the board, and our opponent sort of showing that they don't really have a whole lot going on with the turn 1 tribe play, there's no reason to set the Mirror Force, especially since we can just protect our Gravity Bind with these Solemn Judgments, and we have a Nightmare Wheel. So in case we draw a Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, or something like that going forward, I have an open slot to use so. You see me a lot of times in the Pac-Man videos, I will go ahead and fill the 5th slot. Pac-Man needs a lot of cards on the board, and here it just really just doesn't matter. You'll see the opponent draws a Sacred Phoenix, which we're going to get to at some point. The opponent does drop the duo now, which makes sense to me. We have more than one card in hand. They actually hit our Mirror Force, which is the best card in our hand. And I'm actually going to opt to get rid of the Inferno Tempest here. With the Gravity Bind going, I just don't feel like it's that realistic that we're going to get the Inferno Tempest off here, especially since this game is sort of protect Gravity Bind and burn the opponent out. So I opt to keep the Just Desserts, thinking that maybe the opponent's going to gum up the board a little bit. Totally fine with that. So kind of looking for the win here. We draw DD Dynamite right after pitching the Inferno Tempest, which is kind of annoying, but the deck's got some bricks, that's for sure. I set the Just Desserts because it's actually getting pretty decent value now. Generally, you want your burn cards to be somewhere around like 1,200 damage, and right now it's doing 1,000. And if the opponent sets another monster, that works out for me. I also have, again, no aspirations of locking the opponent's board with an Ojama Trio, so I'm kind of just fine with flipping this. The opponent does summon out Sacred Phoenix, which put the fear of God into me for a little bit. I'm like, oh no, we can't really deal with this. For those of you who don't know, if you Solemn Judgment the summon of a Sacred Phoenix, it still gets its effect to come back. So we can't really Solemn this. We just kind of have to hope the opponent doesn't have a bunch of ways to destroy it on their own. We are also losing a little bit of value in our Just Desserts, but I still think it wasn't correct to just flip it up just for 1,000. Like, how often is your opponent going to tribute off 2 monsters for anything in Go format? So, kind of okay with me. They don't flip a Torrential or anything here, which is nice. Now I draw Graceful Charity, which is unfortunate because I did fill this 5th slot. But it was, it was with the idea of I can activate this at any point. I'm going to deal at least 1,000 damage, but, if the opponent's going to tribute summon a 2 tribute monster, I actually opt to leave it in hand. I don't know about this. This is a little greedy. I guess my reasoning is like duo is gone, so I can just wait to get a little bit of extra value out of this Just Desserts, because the opponent, obviously, unless they have Book of Taiyu, they can't set a Magician of Faith and flip it up and get their duo back, so maybe it's all right. It is definitely a little greedy. There's a chance we could have just flipped up the Just Desserts, dealt 500 damage, but that's probably fine. Our opponent does draw the Moth that I'm talking about here, though, which is kind of interesting. And it looks like they do opt to set that, and then they just pass the turn. Now we draw Lava Golem. So I really wish I hadn't pitched my Inferno Tempest, but then we still get to the idea that like I have the Gravity Bind on the board. So I think all of those plays were totally fine from that. But now I am going to flip the Just Desserts. I get a full 1,000 out of it, so the greed pays off here. We get the opponent to 6,000. We throw off the Graceful Charity, which makes a lot of sense to me. We draw DD Scout Plane, Lava Golem, Ojama Trio. So unfortunately, we drew the Ojama Trio after the Just Desserts, but it was 3 cards down, so what are you going to do? That's totally fine. I opt to discard DD Scout Plane because it's the worst card in my deck, and I'm just going to discard the Ojama Trio here. Not super interested, I guess. Okay, I was probably supposed to just discard the DD Dynamite. Yeah, I discarded the Ojama Trio because I was like, this is kind of pointless, but what I didn't get, the idea that I didn't see in my head is I could Lava Golem here over my opponent's 2 monsters. Then I could flip Ojama Trio and I could give my opponent another Lava Golem. So I did miss out on that a little bit. Yeah, definitely should have just discarded this DD Dynamite because it's pretty dead here. I think what I was thinking at the time is I could draw into another Inferno Tempest. And if the opponent is able to clear this Gravity Bind, then I'm good to go. They attack me with a Lava Golem, my Inferno Tempest, and then DD Dynamite's just going to kill them from whatever range here. But yeah, I'm just going to summon out the Lava Golem. Get rid of both of my opponent's monsters. Getting rid of that Moth is huge. The only problem is, like you'll see, they do have the Stalos in hand. So they're going to lose 1,000, go down to 5,000. They summoned the Stalos. They're actually going to take out the DD Dynamite for me. So my mistake in not discarding the DD Dynamite's actually going to work out because I have an extra card in my hand, and now I'm not going to take 800 from losing the Lava Golem, and I have another Lava Golem. So pretty nice. Opponent just summons this Stalos, passes the turn. I have removed Brainwashing, which is kind of interesting to go with this Lava Golem, but again, we have the Gravity Bind on the board. So we talked about that in the deck profile section, where it does have a little bit of a non-bow with the lockdown cards, but opponent's going to draw Heavy Storm here and slam it. I'm going to slam the Solemn Judgment, of course. Can't let that go through. And they're going to think for a little bit. They're going to summon Sinister Serpent, start getting some beats on, which, no, it's not the worst in the world. Our opponent has this Premature Burial, which is really good with Sacred Phoenix. Let's see if they actually just throw that off here. They don't. Okay. That also makes sense, too. They're probably waiting for a way to be able to destroy the Sacred Phoenix. We draw a level limit, which is fine with me. Like, Heavy Storm's gone. Now I'm just kind of worried about MST, so I'm going to summon out Lava Golem, get rid of the Serpent, get rid of the Stalos, the opponent giving the lol in the chat, and then I'm just going to play out the level limit, which makes sense here. Play around MST since, let's see, one Moth is gone. Yeah, one Moth is gone. We have a Solemn Judgment if our opponent does get back a Heavy Storm anyway. And now we can just kind of play around MST because MST is not gone. And there's a good likelihood that the opponent plays Raigeki Break in this deck as well. I'm kind of reading that this card is not Raigeki Break because they didn't use it to kill the Sacred Phoenix. But yeah, opponent's going to take 1,000. They're going to be on down to 4,000. Lava Golem kills pretty quickly. And they're going to set the card they drew. I draw DD Scout Plane, which obviously is terrible. But I am going to set it just in case the opponent's able to break through. Opponent activates Call here, which I think maybe I should Solemn the Call. Because, like, I don't know about the Prima in hand. No, I'll probably just let this go. And then Solemn whatever they use. Yeah, that seems fine to me. Yeah, and I do let it go. Okay. So Phoenix comes down, they attempt to Torrential Tribute, and I definitely have to Solemn Judgment this. I cannot allow the Sacred Phoenix to come back, or I'll probably just lose the game. But they do have a Sacred Phoenix on the board now. I need to watch out for something like Raigeki Break, something along those lines, but the opponent is at 3,000. And I am going to Nightmare Wheel here. I definitely should have waited to the draw phase, but just to see what I draw, but that's fine. Basically, I'm just wanting to get more damage on the opponent here, just to kill them quickly, because now I know, I'm at the mercy of the opponent drawing something to kill the Sacred Phoenix. I'm also a little distracted. This is just kind of like a practice match, whatever, and that's why I flipped the Nightmare Wheel in the end phase. I actually remember thinking, I'm like, I should probably wait on this, but I didn't expect this to actually make it to YouTube, so I'm just kind of like, whenever I do my testing for the Meme Deck Monday stuff, I'm sort of just like filling out the decks, like, like what works here, what doesn't work here. Do I need to make some small changes, stuff like that? None of these decks are like super optimized, obviously, but I want them to be, coherent and be able to work. Yeah, definitely should have flipped it on draw phase. It's not really that big of a deal. We do get an extra 500 here. Opponent at 2,500. Just Dessert's going to put him at 1,500. If they summon another monster, then they lose. So I'm pretty happy about that. This is also lethal with Nightmare Wheel on the next turn, because the opponent goes to 1,500, they go to 1,000, and then Just Desserts kills them. So they grab back their Sinister Serpent. I'm just like, summon it, summon it, summon it, summon it, please. But the opponent's just going to admit defeat. So, cool. We didn't get to do Inferno Tempest stuff here in this game one, but we showed off, that the deck does have a little bit of cohesion in the fact that it can win games outside of just proccing the Inferno Tempest, and sort of, showed me that the lockdown burn side of things is the way to go with the deck. So that's kind of what I'm looking for in the testing. I don't actually have a side built at this point. I usually do a lot of that later. I was just so excited whenever I built the deck. I'm like, let's hop on the ladder and go. So no siding here, but we will have siding for the live match that we have for this video. But here we draw a beautiful hand, and our opponent's hand isn't looking amazing. They do have monsters to tribute over a Lava Golem. They also have this hand that they can use to go get a Sacred Phoenix, but totally fine. The opponent just sets a back row. They summon out Abyss Soldier, And I'm like, this is not great. This is not one of the cards that I want to play against. Like, every deck I play is just bad against Abyss Soldier. But it's okay because we draw the best card in our deck, the Orb. So, great Graceful Charity fodder. Obviously, I actually say in the chat, I don't know if I can beat that card. It is really, really good here. That is for sure. But I'm going to throw down this Graceful Charity, and we're going to draw Pot of Greed double, or Pot of Greed DD Scout Plane, Just Desserts. Now we have double DD Scout Plane, so we've got some easy discards here. And we have a Pot of Greed, which is just excellent. We'll slam this Pot of Greed, and we're going to draw Lava Golem, and immediately it's like, I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. This is the game. We're going to do it. We draw Gravity Bind. I'm like, we're not going to flip that. We're just not going to. So pretty happy about where we are right now. I have a Solemn Judgment, so once again, I'm going to set everything, including the Inferno Tempest. This doesn't play around MST or Raigeki Break, of course, if they happen to snipe that. And sniping it, you know, is going to be a 1 in 5 chance, 20%. So I opt to set it. The opponent doesn't do anything. We pass the turn. Opponent draws Pot of Greed, which is very nice. Get them a couple more cards. Nox, Sacred Phoenix. Sacred Phoenix, they do not one in hand, which is pretty nice for me. I don't know it at the time. But yeah, they actually summon out hand. No negates. We're just gonna let the hand go. And yeah, they summon the Phoenix from hand, so I'm pretty happy to see that in a way. Not happy to see it in another way. Like, obviously, I wanted my opponent to have 2 monsters on the board so that I can summon out this Lava Golem. But also, you know, this is the opponent not being able to summon this from the deck. So it's like, value-wise, it's good for me. And they're just going to immediately flip Torrential. And I can't let this happen. I just have to Solemn Judgment this, of course. Once again, just like game 1, if the Phoenix comes back, I get screwed. I draw Ojama Trio. And I'm like, oh. Well, now I'm kind of guaranteed the Lava Golem. So the opponent, I have them sort of pegged on having more monsters in hand. Decks like this generally play a whole lot of monsters, and they're not really playing any cards out into a back row of 5 cards. So easy read on more monsters. So I don't really think that I need the Ojama Trio, but it's nice to have just as insurance as, you know, this card will get me to where I want to be. Opponent draws a Dead Soul Exchange. They attack for 2,400. Let's see if I Nightmare Will this. I do Nightmare Will. Okay, that's fine. Keep my life points at 4,000, so I'm not dead to just like a stray Ring of Destruction here. But don't want to flip the Gravity Bind. Again, because, you know, I've got Inferno Tempest and Lava Golem. Why would I flip the Gravity Bind? I want my opponent to attack with a Lava Golem. They pass over. I'm just going to activate Ojama Trio. Torrential's gone, so it doesn't really matter when I activate it there. Actually, if I activate it on my opponent's turn, maybe they walk there for whatever reason. And that would actually be good for me, so then they can't walk the Lava Golem. But, yeah. We draw a Nightmare Will, which is totally fine. Opponent takes 500. They're down to 7,500. I'm going to summon out Lava Golem over the Sacred Phoenix and the token. The opponent asked me if I'm sure that is okay, and it is indeed okay. Lava Golem can be summoned over tokens that cannot be used for a tribute summon, because Lava Golem is not a tribute summon. We lose the Nightmare Will. Cool. Just going to set probably both. I set the Just Desserts, set the Nightmare Will. Makes sense, just in case something goes wrong. And now, of course, the opponent sets a monster. Yes, they did not tribute the Lava Golem because they want maximum damage to attack with. You love to see this. And I guess they saw the Magician of Faith and they're like, yes, we can get back Pot of Greed. Awesome. And then I could just like summon these cards in succession or something like that. So the opponent doesn't tribute over the Lava Golem. I tell them minus 1,000 just to make sure we've got everything good here. They take their 1,000. They attack for 3,000. I let it go through. Obviously, this is playing with fire. If the opponent has a ring at any time, I'm dead here. But the opponent hit me for an attack of 3,000 damage in one go. So Inferno Tempest, here we go. The opponent's like, what? They actually get like halfway through banishing stuff, and they come back to the chat. They're like, really? Yup. Get them all out of there. All we have to lose is Lava Golem and DD Scout Plane, but you see the opponent just like one monster after another. That's a whole 16. So if we draw into DD Dynamite plus Just Desserts right now is actually just lethal. And we have We have a Jar of Greed to help us draw some more. And on end phase, we get to summon out all 3 orbs. They do come out in attack position. I do fix that. But now I actually go to the draw phase and see what I draw before I flip this Nightmare Wheel. So I do it right this time. Go me. No, I don't activate the Nightmare Wheel. Interesting. I guess I'm just seeing what I draw for the Jar of Greed as well. Extra 500 damage, probably a little bit negligible. I don't know. I was probably... Maybe I was supposed to flip the Nightmare Wheel there. It's easy to say that now, knowing that this is a Magician of Faith in my mind, but maybe... I'm trying to think of like what would make me want to hold on to the Nightmare Wheel, whereas I could just deal 500 damage. Maybe I need to make sure I have an extra protection, but I have all 3 of these as blockers. I don't know. The extra 500 puts the opponent at 6,000, which is kind of nice. But Jar of Greed's going to draw the best card in the deck, Solemn Judgment. I'm like, oh, well, now I'm protected against Ring of Destruction. Pretty happy about that. I'm going to play out the level limit as just an extra layer of protection. Move all of these to defense, because there's no reason to attack into any tokens, of course. And set the Solemn Judgment. So maybe I was either 1, distracted, or 2. I was thinking maybe we'll just, I've got this Jar of Greed. Maybe I get some more information, but I could flip the Jar of Greed in draw phase. So yeah, once again, probably just incorrect timing on the Nightmare Wheel here. I will go ahead and Nightmare Wheel now. So not all is lost. But the opponent does have to take an extra 1,000 here for the Lava Golem. They're going to tribute it off. For the Mobius, which I'm just going to go ahead and Solemn Judgment. That makes a whole lot of sense to me. I don't want this Mobius, potentially getting rid of both of these, or getting rid of these and then flipping up a Moth or something like that. So easy Solemn Judgment there. I accidentally put the Nightmare Wheel in the graveyard. But we're going to fix that. That stuff happens. So the opponent takes 500 from the Nightmare Wheel. We got that all fixed. No big deal. I drew an Inferno Tempest, which is dead. At this point, I'm basically just like, let's draw the DD Dynamite so we can get this over. Because now I don't have my Solemn Judgment to protect from Ring. The opponent Graceful Charities. They discard Spell Shield Type 8 and Premature Burial, which is cool. They're going to summon out the Stalos. Thank God I don't have any monsters left. Now they get rid of the Nightmare Wheel. On the Magician of Faith, so we could have had the opponent at 4,500 here, which would have actually been relevant. So yeah, not activating the Nightmare Wheel when I could have in the draw phase could actually potentially be bad for me here, but we draw the DD Dynamite, and DD Dynamite plus Just Desserts is enough to end the game, because Just Desserts is doing 1,500 right now, and this DD Dynamite is doing 4,800 damage in one go. Move over, Blasting the Ruins. We have a bigger burn spell. The opponent's going to draw Call of the Haunted. I'm just going to wait. I'm essentially going to make the opponent like flip Ring or flip Walk or do something. Love Wave Motion Cannon here, because 1 turn on Wave Motion Cannon makes DD Dynamite lethal, but you'll see the opponent does flip up another Spell Shield Type 8. They're just going to discard their Snatch Steal, which is absolutely useless. So we lose the Wave Motion Cannon, but that's fine. Opponent draws Knock, and we draw Jar of Greed. I'm going to set, and once again, like I'm just gonna make my opponent act first with a Walk or something. You'll see the opponent sets 2 cards. Maybe I'm supposed to activate now, but again, we're sort of playing around this card, maybe being something real. So I don't hate it. Drawing another Just Desserts is actually pretty good too, because that's just more burn that we can flip up in response and like maybe get the opponent to walk or something. But yeah, I'm just going to set the Just Desserts. We go to end. Now the opponent does flip up the Ring of Destruction, so Ring of Destruction is going to kill me, so I have to do something here. So I'm going to flip up the Just Desserts first. The opponent lets us go through. I flip up DD Dynamite. The opponent gives the LOL and the GGs, and we are going to see the great power of Inferno Tempest, taking all of our opponent's cards out of their deck, giving us a couple of orbs, or 3 orbs, a couple is actually 2, and then just blasting the opponent with DD Dynamite for 4,800 to end the game. So this would have been insane to show you like the live reaction, because I probably would have lost my mind. I was already sending screenshots in the Discord and to some friends and stuff as soon as I won the match. because I was so hyped for this. This was so great. Hopefully, the match that we get after this is going to be just as good, and hopefully, you all enjoyed the replay of it. Just seeing that this can be done, and just seeing some cool stuff. Like I said, once again, this isn't going to become a norm on Meme Deck Monday. I just thought this match was so cool that wanted to show it to you all. So yeah, let's get to the second one. All right, we are here for our next match. This one, of course, does not look like a replay. This one is live. We are going to be going second against Skylar77, who I believe was in a video not too long ago. I mentioned that I had a cousin named Skylar, something like that. Archfiend Soldier. All right. We got some more normal support decks here. Oh, my Kingdom for a Lava Golem? This is fine. Magic Cylinder, level limit's probably going to go crazy here. The only problem is, I don't have anything for Heavy Storm. So, how do we... Oh, clap with the Hero Gate? Oh, man, that was a long time ago. Okay, so I did remember this duelist. I want to play out my Wave Motion Cannon for sure. And maybe I'm just playing the level limit. Sure, let's just play the level limit. Let's keep these cards in hand. Well, I guess if... I may as well just set the Ojama Trio. That's totally fine. Let's just pass the turn. If the opponent has heavy, we're going to lose these anyway, right? So we may as well get the Ojama Trio, get it flipped up, all that good stuff. Knock, you got it. Let's go. Shout out Petty for the DD Scout plane. It's coming right back. Love to see it. Desrook Arch. Oh, so this is just the Archfiends. Okay. All right. Oh, no. All right. That's a big Desrook Archfiend. I'm just going to go ahead and activate the Ojama Trio here. I'm going to take the 2100, obviously. All right. Axe of Despair, also an Archfiend card, for those of you who don't know. In phase, we get our DD Scout plane back. We can use that as a blocker for this Desrook Archfiend, I suppose. We also have Magic Cylinder, which is pretty nice here. Let's put a counter on our Wave Motion Cannon. And now, this is actually... this is getting pretty close to turning on Inferno Tempest. So that's kind of sick. Let's move this to defense. I'm going to set the Inferno Tempest in case they do something to this and they play another Axe of Despair. And we'll just pass over the turn. Magic Cylinder plus Wave Motion Cannon is probably going to kill fairly quickly. So I'm actually just going to let the Scout plane go. Jar of Greed. Okay, well, I can't really do anything with that just yet. This is level 3. Interesting. I never knew that. I don't know much about Archfiend cards. Outside, of course, Checkmate and Battle Scarred now. I know all about those things. I'm taking another 500. They did it! They did it! They did it! Let's go! We didn't have to summon Lava Golem? Oh, opponent. Oh, opponent, you played yourself. You played yourself. Inferno Tempest, come on down. Have a read. Oh, Lord. Opponent got blasted by Hero Gate, and now they're getting blasted by Inferno Tempest? Oh, man. Oh, this could not be any better. All right, banish the goal. If I could get Dueling Book to... Oh, my opponent's... It's not going to banish my stuff until I catch up to my opponent. That's right. All right, so hopefully he gets all these banished. It does not. Okay, make sure I've got them all out of here. Cool. All of my monsters are gone. In phase, I get all of these back. It's so good. It's so good. You know what? I didn't even need the replay. We've got this. Wave motion up to 3. Yeah, let's slam this pot of greed. Any DD Dynamites? Another Inferno Tempest and a Nightmare Wheel. Okay. Okay, pretty happy about the Nightmare Wheel. Let's move these to defense. Nightmare Wheel will deal a little bit of extra damage. So what we're dealing 31. The opponent goes to 39. Oh, and Wave Motion Cannon just kills him on the next turn. Okay. All right, let's set Nightmare Wheel in case something goes wrong, and we will pass the turn. I would imagine they're going to attack. Yep. Oh, and they take 500 from the arch. That's right. That's right. Graceful Charity's fine. Solemn Judgment is basically just trained on Heavy Storm at this point. For several reasons. I want to keep all of my cards, and I want them to keep Acts of Despair. All right, Trap Dust Shoot and Rhoda. Yeah, Rhoda's not doing much here, is it? Uh-huh. Yep, attack. Eat a Magic Cylinder. This is so perfect. Acts of Despair. Oh, yeah. This is the best. Let's go. We got him. So this is going to be some sort of like Archfiend aggro deck thing. Messenger of Peace actually looks pretty good here. So does Tribe. I think I'm probably just going to bring in the Reapers. Let's get rid of Remove Brainwashing. It is the worst card in the deck by a mile. I'm going to trim a DD Dynamite, I think. And then I'll probably just cut Jar of Greeds. That's totally fine. Like, do I want to side in Bad Reaction? I kind of do. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. We'll side these in and we'll get rid of... maybe we just do one. Make our opponent show walk, because like all of these other cards are pretty good in the matchup, right? Yeah, seems good to me. I should have looked at all of their monsters first, honestly. That was a little bit of a punt there, but yeah, let's just bring in one Bad Reaction. And if the opponent shows walk in game 2 and we lose, game 3 we'll just bring in all 3 of them, and we will take our opponent down that way, hopefully. But let's poor opponent just showing up for all of the meme deck Mondays and getting cooked. That's how it be sometimes. All right, game 2 is here. Game 2 is now. We've hit the Inferno Tempest button. Let's hit the win button. This is a good start to it. Graceful Charity, very powerful card, obviously. All right. Opponent's got a duo. Okay, getting rid of the Reaper. Okay, I think I'm just gonna get rid of Justice Urts. Keep my protection. I can draw into some more burn, right? All right, lead on Soldier again. All right, yeah, Solemn Judgment, very good, very good. Let's just slam down this Graceful Charity. DD Dynamite, Wave Motion Cannon. Oh, and Ojamatrio, okay. Okay, and let's get rid of DD Dynamite. I'll probably just get rid of Dynamite and Ojamatrio. That seems good to me. Put the game in the hands of Wave Motion Cannon. We'll activate that. Set Mirror Force. Level Limit. Set Judgment. And we will pass over the turn. So if the opponent has a level 3 anything, we can, decide what to do. There. No, not Royal Decree. All right. Understood. That's fine. Oh, Mataza with Mage Power? All right. I guess we'll just lose here. So Bad Reaction is not where it's going to be. Because the opponent's playing Decree rather than something like Walk. Ring. Man. All right. Well, we're dead to the Mataza, so I guess we'll make the opponent attack here. What's kind of interesting is like the opponent may be a little bit scared to make their like Mataza super big or something. I guess less so Mataza, more so just like another Desrook Archfiend. They may not want to pump it up to 3,000 or higher attack again just because Inferno Tempest. But yeah, we're dead here. Unfortunately, Royal Decree just absolutely cooked us there. But we do have an anti-decree package here. We've got Double Snare, we've got MST, we got Breaker. Hopefully that's good enough. I think I am actually going to bring in the Tribe as well. Just to help deal with Mataza, because Mataza is a problem. Still think I want my Gravity Binds and my level limits, because they are going to be playing level 4s and stuff. Like they've got, just the Warrior package itself has a lot of level 4s. So we'll cut Bad Reaction. Maybe we just cut the DD Dynamites. Yeah, let's actually try to win this. We'll leave in a couple Inferno Tempest, because it is kind of just a win condition, but we'll cut the DD Dynamites. And because those like super rely on Inferno Tempest, right, to work. And we could cut the orb, but the orb, can just absorb attacks or whatever. Skill Drain? Do we want Skill Drain? I don't think so. Skill Drain's not really what we want. We could just put in Jar of Greeds over the orbs. I'm going to leave in the orbs, just in case of like Inferno Tempest. Orb is still fine, still a win condition, so let's do it, and let's not, dilute everything in the deck. Okay, Lava Golem Tempest, let's go. Let's set... I don't want to set the Gravity Bind, man. I'm going to. I'm going to set it just in case something happens. Do I set MST? I don't think so. And I don't think I want to set the Tempest this turn either. Well, hold on. Let's actually set Just Desserts, because I don't care about that one as much. And if the opponent has Heavy Storm, I kind of want them to rip it off now so that we can protect our Inferno Tempest. Hopefully soon. Okay, Mataza. That's fine. This is a very, very, very greedy line, but it's what we're doing. God dang it. Nightmare Wheel is kind of excellent here. I don't know. Like, maybe we just say, screw it. If the opponent has Heavy Storm, they have Heavy Storm. They probably would have Heavy Stormed there, right? Now, if they have Heavy Storm, we probably just lose. So why don't I just... Nah, let's just pass the turn. We'll get them with the Lava Golem attack, hopefully. All right, 1300 coming through. I'm just going to Nightmare Wheel this because I want my opponent to have monsters. MST. Well, if they deal 26 here... Okay, I'm just going to Mirror Force then. Get the Mataza out of here. This is all on attack declaration, so the Mirror Force can be activated in response to the MST. All right, Mataza down. Hopefully the opponent plays out some level 4s now. Or we draw an Ojama Trio. Ojama Trio would be nice, because then we can just force out the Lava Golem. The only problem... Well, we do have a Gravity Bind, I guess, to follow up. To protect ourselves from our own Lava Golem killing us, right? Maybe I do set the Inferno Tempest now. Yeah, I'll set it. Pass the turn. Hopefully Gravity Bind can protect us. Or at least keep us above 3,000. Because that's the big problem here. Rhoda? Okay. Not another Mataza. Come on. Lord. All right. Well, we can't beat the Mataza deck. But that's okay. That's okay. Prima. Okay. Yeah. Double Mataza here. This is really bad for us. I guess we can tribute them both off for Lava Golem, right? Or well, we have... No, I have the MST in hand. Okay. Maybe I was just supposed to set the MST. Maybe I'm just like... Maybe this is scuffed all the way around. Okay. We're not dead. Thankfully. Take the 2600. Yep. Take the 2600. Flip Gravity Bind. MST is already gone, so we're not dead to the Exiled Force here. We can deal 1500 to the opponent with the Just Desserts that we've got, and then we can summon out Lava Golem. Take these two out, so we're not like hopeless here. Things obviously don't look good because we are at 200. But maybe even like setting the MST there didn't really do a whole lot. Oh, we're gonna Exiled Force one of the Matazas? Okay. That is very bad for me. Our opponent played around the Lava Golem? Alright, I mean, good for them. It's a heads-up play. I will set my things and I will pass my turn and we will go to our death. Unfortunately. Graceful Charity, sure. I don't know. There could have been... Definitely could have been some things that I could have done differently here, but man, Mataza... Well, no, I did set the Nightmare Wheel. Yeah, summon out Desrook Archfiend. I'm gonna Solemn Judgment that. Maybe show that I have, like, I don't know, Sakuretsu armor or something. I'm not conceding, but... Alright, now I am conceding. So, unfortunately, we weren't able to take the match home here, but game one was so sick. We got the opponent to attack into us with their monster that they bumped up to 3,000. So, pretty awesome. Obviously, you know, sometimes you run into... we got just mopped up by Royal Decree in game two, let's be real. Wasn't really expecting that one to happen, but that's okay. That's okay. Sometimes it'd be like that, but yeah, this Meme Deck Monday was a little different. Obviously, we had a replay, and then we had this match, but, you know, we got to see Inferno Tempest twice. One time procced by our opponent, and hey, we got a match win. We got a match win with the deck. So I'm pretty happy with that. As always, hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back with the next one.